blueprint. Okay, there we are. Yeah, there, right there. You see the motor in the middle?
Okay.
The generators on the end.
So the motor's in the square box.
Mm-hmm.
The motor's in the square cabinet. Which one's the motor?
This big one right here.
Oh, okay.
This is a generator, and that's a generator on this end.
Oh, I see. So you got a motor in the middle.
Yeah,
Okay.
turns two generators, which are in series to drag double the voltage in DC.
Okay, so it came out of the motor generator at 3,400.
Well, off the yeah. Got off the generator, 3,400 volts to the trolley.
So then it'd go out of the building
Yeah,
on how many wires?
one. The rail was the second wire.
So it goes out and it goes up. The trolleys were, the catenaries were 2,400 feet, 24 feet above the track.
Yeah, something like it's supposed to be.
They were way up there.
Yeah.
So then you had a wire going up to the catenary.
Well, we had them coming out of the substation. Yeah.
Right, and then it would, so what? So where did the energy go? It went to the trolley wire hanging underneath the catenary.
Yeah, they were clamped onto the trolley. Yeah, they had feeders that ran along the railroad. They took taps off so often to that trolley to keep the voltage up.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you,
so you got to add a feeder.
and that was a DC feeder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DC. But then alongside that, they had a 4,400 volts AC feeder for the signals
Oh, I see.
alongside on the same line.
Why so much voltage required for signals?
Well, the BN Railroad, or the NP at that time, had DC signals, and they still had these. And so you couldn't have DC signals with a DC trolley when it goes, you know. So we had to do ours in AC.
Really?
Yeah, that's one.
And that came down.
Yeah.
So the feeders for that came right off the high tension, 110,000 volt line.
No, it came from the substations.
I see.
You could separate it. I could go to the substation at Morale and the one at the Gold Creek and open both at the east and the west disconnect and kill that signal feeder or the trolley, either one. Or I could go in anywhere there's a sectionalizing switch in between there for the different places, so you could cut, so you didn't take the whole 30 miles out, you know.
So, so the people working in that substation were more than just electricians. They were like signalmen. They did a lot.
No, they weren't signalmen. That's a different department.
So a different. So there were other people that did that.
Oh yeah, the signal maintainers. So we didn't have nothing to do with that.
And where were those controlled out of? The signals.
The signals?
Yeah.
Well, they're controlled along the railroad. They're signal maintainers, but the power was come out of the substations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where was the signal maintainer for any one of the substations?
Yeah, they had one in Deer Lodge, they had one in Drummond, they had one in Missoula, they had one in Alberton, they had one at Avery,
And what about telegraphers?
whatever. I don't know. They had that. They got less and less.
So they were kind of on their way out when you got there.
Yeah. Well, there was one at Waverly, one at Alberton, one in Deer Lodge.
These were telegraphers or signalmen?
No, they were telegraphers. Those guys. That's a different telegraph. That's, yeah, the signalman just done the signals for the trains out on the tracks.
So for example, I mean, how'd that work? How'd the signaling work? I mean, like, give me an example.
How'd they work?
Yeah, they were, yeah.
Well, they did all the maintenance on the signal relay and everything else in the relay.
But I mean, the signals themselves.
Yeah.
Were they just lights that go red or green or something?
Yeah, green, orange, and red. Yeah.
And what did they mean? The obvious?
Yeah. Well, red means stop.
Okay.
The train.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the yellow usually remembers that you're coming up on a red one or something to proceed to stop. That's speed to stop or something. Yeah. Yeah. If you didn't, you get trains together.
Okay, so my understanding is there was one 2% grade on that 440 mile section and two 1% grades. Is that right? That kind of how you You remember it?
I don't know the grade.
Well, where was the steepest part of the railroad?
Donald, I think. Where was it? I just saw it here a minute ago when I was talking to you. Can't remember which book I was in. Oop, there it is. There you are.
Good. Rocky Mountain Division.
Yeah.
Melstone.
Well, not Millstone, it was in the Ring Mountain, but
No.
yeah, that's Gold Creek there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, was it Donald? Yeah, Donald's, the elevation that Donald was, up on the Pipestone is 5538. The next one is St. Paul Pass in the Bitterroot Range. And that's 4170. And then lowest was, 5799. And Miles City was 2358, so it went downhill. Huh. It was upgrade. See, they used to use helpers at lowest, but then they went through and cut the tracks used to run in front of the substation like all of them do. And they cut through the mountain there and lowered the grade so they didn't have to use helpers and put all the trolley behind the substation up there above us.
I didn't realize it was that steep in there. Is that the little, what is Castle Mountain, or what are you crossing there?
What do they call it? They call it the Belt Range.
The belt? Okay.
Yeah.
So, was the stop up at Agawam, way up in the northern part, most stop on the Milwaukee in Montana, was that electrified?
Agawam?
Agawam.
I don't think so.
So they were just electrified from Harlow straight through to Avery, and that was it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
But what
that's
about-
all diesel.
Nothing up to Great
Lewistown,
Falls?
Lewistown, Great Falls, and Augusta were all diesel.
They were all diesel.
Yeah, and the Milwaukee owned property from Augusta to Ovando.
Augusta to Ovando.
Yeah, but they never did build on it.
I'll be darned.
No, they never built on that at all.
Well, what's the route? How would that be?
Well,
What was the proposed
you
route?
see it, you've been to Great Falls?
Yeah.
You see the Milwaukee depot that's sitting there?
Yeah?
That's a passenger depot.
Yeah.
And you see the one in Lewistown?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a passenger depot. When the original, the line was supposed to go from Harlowtown to Lewistown to up to Great Falls, then Great Falls over to Augusta and down into Missoula and then go across. That was the original route for the passenger train.
So what pass were they going to use between Augusta and Ovando? How were they going to get across the mountains?
I don't know how they had it. I never seen a set of plans.
Oh, I thought
All
you
I know
guys
is a farmer called me one time, wanted to clean the culvert. So I told him to turn him over to the engineering department.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there was no rail facilities up in that Blackfoot Valley, Little Blackfoot Valley.
Well, there was to Ovando,
From where?
Missoula.
Oh, it went up that way, that far.
Yeah. Clearwater Junction.
Oh,
Yeah, they used to load logs and everything in there years ago. Yeah.
That was not electrified, was
No,
it?
no, that was diesel out of Missoula.
So what was the general feeling about the electric motors pulling a train versus a diesel electric? How'd they compare?
Electric was a lot better.
In what way?
Yeah. More power, less cost to run.
Who did the maintenance on the diesels?
They did in Deer Lodge, same as they did the electric. And mechanics in there. Yeah. Yeah, the roundhouse, I ran the crane that used to take the motors out of the electric ones.
So if you had a diesel electric engine,
Yeah.
could you modify it easily to become all electric if you had overhead trolleys?
have to have 660 volts DC.
That's
Which
what they,
is-
that's what,
what they run on. They got a DC generator and it runs off a diesel engine.
they just don't rely on the overhead wires.
No, no, they don't rely on it at all. But
So why did they change over to diesels? Did Milwaukee change to diesels before they shut down?
well, they had the Joes and the diesel connected together. They put the electric in the front and operate the diesels from the controller on the Joe.
Oh.
Yeah.
But they still had the trolley wires.
Oh yeah, you had to have it to run the Joe. Couldn't
So
run it
it's-
off the diesel.
So that just gave you some additional power.
Oh yeah, they give you the additional power. I think it was. But when they first started that, said it wouldn't work, and so our electrical engineer from Tacoma came out and was there one day and had them working. Chicago told him it wouldn't work.
What was that guy's name? Do you remember?
I think it was Don Wiley. If I remember right, Don Wiley. Yeah.
Then, so I remember my seatmate, Joe Brand, used to talk about the gateways onto the Milwaukee and how there was some trouble controlling